My name's Caroline Mortlock. I'm an English teacher at Bexhill High School, and this is my poetry lesson on My Last Duchess by Robert Browning. I want you now to take yourselves back a few hundred years. And I want you to take yourselves back to another country, which is Italy. So what I do is begin with me in role as the Duke, but speaking in modern English. First of all, you're going to have to imagine that I am a hugely, hugely powerful man. I'm a Duke. I have a title that I've held for 900 years. I'm very powerful. Where I started with this was seeing that the original poem was a barrier to understanding, and so I then decided that I would need to write a script that dealt with some of those barriers, was faithful to the original, but made it really clear, and then there'd be a text that the students could directly get engaged with. On the wall here, there she is. She looks just like she's alive. It's a really brilliant painting. I hired a painter, Friar Pandolf, to do it, fresh onto the wet plaster. So he only had a day to work, and it's amazing, this painting. Okay, so you're going to imagine yourselves now as his young Duchess. Imagine, while he's doing all of this, while he's pulling back this curtain and talking to this visitor, imagine she's able, from beyond the grave, to hear what he's saying. I'm going to ask you to write down what you think she might be thinking. The teacher's role, once that initial performance has been delivered, is to facilitate, to move from group to group, to check on understanding, to assist. And the way that the tasks are structured means that that's relatively easy to do.
Is it saying that he's already getting another wife?
Yeah. He's on to the next one. Because the poem's called My Last Duchess. So here, he's moving on to the next instalment. He's got her all lined up and ready. You're absolutely right. Okay? Okay. I have had the privilege of going between the groups and seeing how the Duchess, the dear, lovely, dead, young 14-year-old Duchess, is coming to life in this room. Once we've got the Duchess's reactions from the students, we can then read through that modern English script, but voice the Duchess. She now becomes a presence in the room as well as the Duke. She's got things to say. So all these gaps that Browning has created in the text are now being populated by the students' reading of the poem. Oh yes, it was good she thanked people, but somehow it was as though my 900-year-old dukedom was no better than any other gift from anybody.
You always thought you could buy me, but that was never the case. You used me, is that all I was good for? I am not just another one of your trophies.
And it's only once they've written the Duchess's words for various points in the poem and they've placed those words in the modern English script that we then start looking at Browning's actual version. So they go to it, and then what their task is, they have to find where these things that we've given the Duchess to say fit in the poem. So they have to recognise phrases and then place their words in the right place. All and each would draw from her alike the approving speech or blush at least. Aaron?
All she wanted was a simple life.
That's it. At that point, a lot of my learning objectives are already being met because the students are filling in the gaps, they're reading inferentially, they're starting to make some fairly precise and perceptive judgments about the presentation of the Duke, how we're reading him, how he's being presented, and how he's coming across. And at the final part of the lesson, step back and say, right, what have we learnt about the Duke? How do we see the different aspects of his personality? And start to put down some of those readings onto a mind map. This poem is one that a lot of English teachers perceive as being really quite difficult, but in this lesson it becomes a poem that the students engage with, become emotionally involved with, and themselves do not perceive as being difficult.